Hello, what's poppin', and welcome to Popcorn, your stop for all things pop. And I made a new tagline. It's a show for fans by fans.
Wow, ang galing.
So, welcome to this week's Popcorn. Our main topic for this week is Black Mirror. So that's very exciting stuff. But aside from that, we also have a popcorn heavy episode dahil ang daming nangyari this past week.
Truly, no? Like, I didn't expect so many things to happen, but that's what happened.
Yes, so anyway, before anything else, I'd introduce you to my co-host for the week. We have a very good friend and old classmate, Erika
Yes.
Villa-Ignacio. What's up, Erika?
Hello, thank you for inviting me back to Ateneo now that it's really like dark and dim, and like you guys didn't hear it, but a while ago he scared me and I was like on the way to the bathroom ready to tackle ghosts.
May multo
wherever
daw
they
dito
are.
apparently. So,
Yeah,
it's either her na papunta sa banyo or
Yeah.
me na nandito lang sa room mag-isa.
I know, we're just
Or
trying,
both of us
yeah.
while we're recording. Hopefully not. But anyway, there's a lot that's happened this week. So, ayun, I guess we should start going to it.
Mhm.
And that brings us to our segment called Popcorn, which is our weekly recap of the things that happen in pop culture and Pinoy pop culture. So is it a yes, a sax, or a pass? So to begin, we've had a pretty good day for video games last Monday because the E3 happened and there were a lot of announcements for new video games and a lot of reveals for those video games that a lot of people have been anticipating ever since. So first off, we have a new Star Wars video game. It's called Star Wars The Fallen Jedi. So it's for PlayStation, Xbox, everywhere basically.
I love it.
And the story is between the third film and the fourth film, and also what's that spin-off film?
There are a lot of spin-off films. There's like Solo.
Si Jin Erso, ano
There's
pangalan
like
nun?
Rogue One.
Yes,
Yes,
ayun. Sorry,
Rogue
I
One.
failed my research and
It's
my
okay.
pop culture knowledge again. But as you can see in the trailer, when you see it, si Saw Gerrera, who appears on Rogue One, is in the trailer. So it's kind of like between the fall of the Jedi. I
Yeah.
think this shows one of the last Jedi, no pun intended. But I love that movie. Again, I will reiterate that to those who are haters.
Yeah, I really loved it. I will fight anyone who hates that movie. I
But
really will.
yun, sorry for cutting you.
It's okay.
The Fallen Order shows that, and it has a pretty interesting story, which I'm looking forward to play when it comes out.
Yeah.
So
me
it's
too,
a
me
yes
too.
for me. I love Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a yes for me as well. I remember I played one of the earlier games na medyo Call of Duty format siya.
Is it Battlefront?
Yes, I played Battlefront before.
I heard it was bad though.
Well, if you didn't care about the story, then it was fine. But I guess for the people that was that really were expecting like a huge epic story, then it wasn't that great in that.
But I think
respect.
the second game in particular had a campaign this time around.
Yeah,
Because
it did.
the critique for the first one was that, there wasn't any story to it.
Yeah, there was barely any story to it. My brother played the second game, and according to him, I trust his opinion very much. It did a lot better this time around.
I want
Yeah.
to play it actually. So
You
hopefully
should.
makahanap ako ng cheap copy na second hand.
Diba? Or ng oras.
Kuripot.
Us working people. diba?
Yeah, I have so much games and books just piled in my room.
That's true.
It's sad.
I'm guilty of that also, I think.
But, we try when there are holidays. And speaking of holidays, belated Happy Independence Day to the Philippines.
Belated.
That was yesterday. Sana hindi tayo masakop ng China.
Please.
I mean,
Let's not.
it's already happening. But, let's
I know.
stand our ground for our independence and the freedoms that we live every day.
That's true. It took us years and years to get here. Let's please not regress.
We'll talk more about the Philippines a bit later, but now we're on to our next E3 news from Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
So it's another new game. It's pretty exciting. Again, this is actually featuring Keanu Reeves, who has been
know.
on a roll.
Ever since, I know he's like the new white boy of the internet. I think that's what they
Of
call
the
it.
month.
Yeah, white boy of the month. Yes.
But I feel like, Keanu has been there since the 90s, 2000s with The Matrix and other franchises. But 2019 has really been his year
Exactly.
with the third John Wick. He's appearing in Toy Story 4 as Duke Kaboom. Not appearing, but voicing Duke Kaboom, rather. But there's been a lot. He was also in Always Be My Maybe.
Yeah, I watched his parts, and he was really, really great in that movie. I think he was my favorite part of the whole film, actually.
Ayun. So that's another exciting game. Not super good at all these tactical games, to be honest. But
Really, what are your video game genres?
I usually play like fighting games or kiddie games.
Okay, so it's like a spectrum. On one side, it's like fighting games, sobrang angas mo, and like on the other side, it's like Pokemon, I guess.
Like I have a PS4 and I also have a Switch at the same time.
Oh,
so it's more of like a balance because
that's good.
I enjoy my kiddie stuff. Like for a time, I was really into Disney Infinity because it had all Disney properties like Marvel and Star Wars and Disney and Pixar, so you could just play along with all those characters in one game. So if you guys have the chance to play Disney Infinity, I guess grab that chance. And it's also a collectible. That was a time when Toys to Life was a thing. So the collectible craze was there, and you could play as those characters.
Grabe, no? They really know how to make you addicted to video games.
And I'm a collector for a lot of things, so I fall into that trap.
Yeah, your room is just a huge
It is
pop culture mecca, I suppose.
It is. It looks like a toy store at this point. Next movie/video game related news is that the popular or cult classic Blair Witch Project now has a video game.
Yes.
So this is exclusively for Xbox, which is sad because I own a PS4 and a Switch.
Exactly. It's like you're already there at Xbox. Go to PC, go to PS4. I have no idea. Maybe they have an exclusive deal. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4 was so good. So I guess each console has their own exclusives.
I guess.
I'd be sad not being able to play this, but I'd take Spider-Man over this. But it's still. It's interesting because it's a new story in the Blair Witch Project world, coming from the first movie and the second.
Yeah.
The sequel and the revival as well. So there's a lot to explore. And I love horror in general.
Me too. I really do. Also, they can never kill the witch, which is a great idea. You can milk it as far as you can. So how do you
win the game?
Honestly, I think you just don't die. If that makes any sense.
Well,
just don't die.
To those people who have Xboxes, let us know when the game does come out.
Yeah.
Sometime soon.
We'll be here just sad and watching you guys play. It's fine. Okay lang.
And the last and most exciting for me is that Marvel's Avengers by Square Enix, the same makers as the Spider-Man PS4 game, there are more developments to the Marvel's Avengers game. So let me just read some quotes from that from not episode, but from the press release. So it says you can join key members of the development team. I mean, sorry, hindi pala. Fail.
Okay lang, it's fine.
So they call it the defining Avengers gaming experience. It's an epic action adventure that combines cinematic storytelling with continuous single player and cooperative gameplay. So assemble in teams up to 4 players, master extraordinary abilities, customize your heroes to fit your playstyle, and combine powers to defend an ever-expanding world under constant threat. So that is super exciting.
I know.
We don't really know the details, like the full details for the game. So for me, obviously, it's a yes because playing Spider-Man was just amazing, spectacular. Homecoming.
Yeah, grabe,
lahat na ng Spider titles. But it was just like felt like you were actually Spider-Man swinging throughout New York City.
Which is how it's supposed to feel, I think.
And, it was an homage to the old PS2 games of Spider-Man as well.
Yeah, did you play those?
I think I did.
Yeah, I remember playing those and I spent like a good 2 hours lang, just like swinging around the city.
Yeah,
and
like
doing like random missions, like delivering pizza to people.
even with
Like
this new
that's what
game,
I wanted to do as Spider-Man.
that's true. Like even with this new game, I love New York so much. It's one of my favorite cities, if not the favorite city in the world. But
Wow.
parang just playing the game makes me feel that I'm there, and I don't really have to travel. But of course,
Yeah.
it's almost like the real thing.
Yeah. I mean, we're broke. We have New York dreams. Might as well
And-
live in through Spider-Man.
Yes. So to those curious, you should go check that out. It's only on PS4. Next, we have another awards ceremony that happened no Monday Philippine time. That was the Tony Awards 2019
Woohoo!
for Broadway musicals and plays. So Hadestown, a new musical, won 8 awards, including Best Musical. I didn't get to watch this when I was in New York recently,
Sayang.
but it's not really something that's my cup of tea, so I just didn't
Okay.
really watch it. But I've heard a lot of good things, so it won 8 awards, including Best Musical, Best Director of a Musical for Rachel Chavkin, Best Original Score, Best Performance by an Actor in a Featured Role for Andre the Shields, Best Orchestrations, Best Scenic Design of a Musical, Best Sound Design of a Musical, and Best Lighting Design of a Musical.
Wow. Congrats.
So it's the clear winner of this year's Tony Awards,
yeah.
Hadestown. And aside from that, the highlight awards, Santino Fontana, who was known for his roles on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and Hans in Frozen. He won Best Performance by an Actor in a Lead Role for Tootsie. I watched that one and he was really good, hands down.
Deserve naman.
Yeah, he played a woman.
Wow.
He was in drag.
Okay.
And he was also himself for some parts. So
Ooh, that's
it's interesting. It's not like it's not a kinky boots kind of thing.
Okay.
Because I've heard na there's a lot of criticism against his win because in a time na it's Pride Month and
Yes.
they're saying na is this really a representative of what drag or what trans should be or something like that, because the story is it's a relevant story based on what I watched. So for me,
Okay.
wala akong problema. But I think people are being too oversensitive again or being too woke.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak because I'm not trans nor am I a gay man, but I do believe that we should analyze performances for what they are. Sometimes we should gauge whether we are being too woke ba talaga or sa performance ba tayo galit, like we should think
Yeah.
about these things muna.
Exactly. And there's really just no room for negativity.
That's true.
I mean, there's room for constructive criticism
Yeah.
and critical thinking as
of course,
always.
of
But
course.
just being pure negative for the sake of
Yeah.
being negative.
Diba,
just
parang
like-
it won't do anything for the pride movement. So,
or just in
Yeah.
general, not even Pride.
yes.
But next, another winner is Ali Stroker from Oklahoma. She won Best Performance by an Actress in a Featured Role in a Musical, and she is the first ever actor in a wheelchair to win a Tony Award.
Amazing.
Yes to that.
Yes to that
Congrats.
talaga.
I remember her being in the Glee Project, that reality show.
Oh, siya pala yun.
Speaking of last week's topic, which is Glee, you can listen to that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere where podcasts are heard, and YouTube as well. Syempre, nag-plug na ako in the middle of the show.
Oo nga eh.
But,
Okay lang yan.
yun. Speaking of, kasi that last week's topic was Glee. So, she was a Glee alum. She also appeared on the Glee TV show as a sort of love interest for Artie, because Artie was in a wheelchair and she's in a
Yes.
wheelchair for real.
So, of course, 1 + 1 = 2, I guess.
Yeah, that was how weird Glee was.
Yeah.
But, congrats to her. And lastly, Stephanie J. Block won the Best Performance by an Actress in a Lead Role in a Musical for the Cher show. She was one of the Chers, because there are 3 versions of Cher in
Oh.
that show.
Whoa, 3 shares?
Like, there was a young Cher, middle-aged Cher, and like older Cher.
Okay, definitely need to watch this because I need 3 shares in my life. Like
Well,
the
we
one on
only have
Twitter
2
isn't enough.
chairs.
Yeah, 2 shares.
Mag-isa lang,
2
dalawa lang kami
chairs!
this week, but it's
That's
fun
true.
still. I love talking to anyone.
Yes, you do. We know that.
And next on our list is a Netflix popcorn. It's the Netflix chef show. Writer, director, and food enthusiast John Favreau. How do you pronounce that?
Favreau, I think.
And Chef Roy Choi explore food in and out of the kitchen with accomplished chefs and celebrity friends. So this has 8 episodes. It was released last Friday.
Ooh.
And this was pretty funny. It trended online kasi Gwyneth Paltrow was part of the guests. And
Alam ko to.
in this episode with Gwyneth, she didn't realize that she was part of Spider-Man Homecoming with John, who plays Happy.
Grabe, no?
So-
Like, I remember I saw a tweet saying that if that person could be like Gwyneth, so clueless about the movie she's in, but with so much money, that person would take Gwyneth's like place in a heartbeat. I think I'd do the same
Yeah, but I
thing.
feel like at the same time, she's been in so many Marvel movies as well na parang
Yeah.
you can't really like compartmentalize now which part of which movie was that scene from.
Diba?
Like she could have easily confused it with an Avengers movie. So
And I'd see why also, because I bet these sets are super strict, super secret. So she would probably get assignments with like code names and stuff. So she
That's
wouldn't
true.
understand like which movie this is supposed to be pala, unless she like asks and, really make sure that she knows where she is.
that's true. So it's a yes. I haven't seen the show, but I'm
it looks
looking
like
forward.
a yes for me too.
So
Yeah.
I read an article saying that this is the best food show on Netflix right now.
Wow, even better than street food.
Apparently.
Really?
So let's
Sige.
see how it
Panoorin.
goes when we watch the show. We'll get back to you in future episodes or minisodes. Next, this is pretty heavy news. Hindi
I
naman
know.
heavy, but malaking news talaga siya that happened in the past week.
Kasi na TV Patrol siya, guys.
Na TV Patrol, na
Ganon.
DTI sila.
Oh, na DTI sila.
Na Twitter worldwide trend.
I know.
So we have 2 bits of
Crazy.
K-pop news. It's the first time I'm reporting K-pop on Popcorn, but
As you
it's an
should.
exciting time.
As you should. I love K-pop.
And I do too. I have a whole playlist
I know.
dedicated to it, which Erika saw earlier.
His playlist is legit, guys. I scrolled through just to make sure, and I was like, he got some EXO and BTS in there. This is good.
Thank
it's good
you.
for sure.
I'm happy. I'm legit.
Of course.
But okay, so this is the big news from last week. So Shopee and Blackpink had an event together, which was meet and greet.
Mhm.
And what happened was there was massive social media outrage after because they were telling Shopee na it was a scam. So
Yeah.
hashtag Shopee scam trended worldwide #1 because
Ibang
of what
klase.
happened.
Mhm.
Because what were the rules of the meet and greet in the first place?
Well, the rules were the top 568 spenders were
No, it's
supposed
only 40 top 40 spenders, I think.
No, the thing is the top 568 were supposed to get in, but only the top 40 were released. So people were already sketched out by
Oh.
that. Like the rest of the qualifiers were never actually disclosed. So there were people with actual tickets and they showed up.
And
Paid
then
like
binawit
40,
ng app or something like
80K,
that.
yes. And then, may confirmation sa side ng fans. Pero sa side ng Shopee, all of a sudden nawala siya. And it was really like an operational disaster. Like, I wouldn't want to be there in that situation. Whether as a fan or like as a Shopee employee. Like, it was crazy.
But I think for me, this whole mess is a pass. Because, you know...
Huge pass.
In the first place, the rules were very clear that you had to buy something from Shopee.
Yes.
And you had to be one of the top 40 spenders, which is a big thing because people are competitive and you
Yeah.
really want to see your favorite group, which happens to be Blackpink. And yun nga, I think the top spender spent 220,000 just to get to this event.
Yep, it was a guy. I don't know who he is, but like...
Hello sa'yo.
I think he would have been really mad if he didn't get in, but I think he did naman since #1 siya.
But what would you spend for 200 plus thousand on Shopee in the first place? That's so weird.
Exactly. It's like, I don't know what he bought. Did he buy an entire category of stuff? Tapos naging 200K na lang
My
siya. I
mom
guess
was
that's
like
the...
saying, baka naman may business sila tapos they bought stuff for their business on Shopee. But at the same
Oh.
time, for me, I respect K-pop fans and I love K-pop, but medyo OA yung reaction to this. I mean,
I know, grabe.
another reason for people being outraged is that there were a lot of influencers daw and personalities that were in the event. But for me, it's not a given you're gonna invite influencers to make your show more visible to people who aren't aware of it, and invite VIPs because it's
marketing.
It's not just a Philippine thing, but it's given in any event na
that's true.
May VIPs and all that. So parang we get it. You guys are hurt that you didn't get to watch your favorite group, which is Blackpink, but that doesn't necessarily give you the capacity to just go super mad.
I know. Well, and also my opinion on Blink's getting really mad is also as a K-pop fan, I'm a fan of Twice, I'm a fan of Red Velvet, Blackpink, all these groups. I know that events occur because companies want to make money off me and money off like
and
my
even
obsession,
the
right?
main companies that churn out these groups in the first place.
Exactly. So as a fan, I just want people to know where to put their trust, know if an organizer is legit, know if the mechanics are bulletproof. If they're not, I suggest don't invest.
Yeah.
And possibly invest in, I don't know, like another concert.
Or you could just apply for a Korea visa.
Yes.
Go to Korea and see them in a show. I think that will cost you less than 200,000 for a few days.
Yeah, it'll still cost you a lot, but like not naman
as
200K.
much.
Yeah, exactly.
So yun. Actually, my sister works in Shopee.
Oh.
And
how does she feel now?
She's not part of the whole mess.
That's good. That's so good.
They were told by management to put their accounts in private because
because Blinks are going crazy. I know.
So I mean, there's a lot of toxicity, not just with Blinks or ARMY or K-pop groups, but even in Drag Race fans.
I know.
A lot. Game of Thrones was pretty toxic by the end of it.
Yeah.
So everyone just enjoy your life and know your priorities, and
that's true.
Be happy. Don't put hate on everyone.
Yeah. Also know when to avoid the internet. I had to learn that the hard way.
So next K-pop news, mas masaya naman siya.
That's good.
Ang nangyari ay there was a concert last Sunday, same time as Binibining Pilipinas, and it was called K-pop World Music Festival 2019. It was in MOA. Tapos some of the performers were Red Velvet and NCT. Sila yung pinaka sikat dun sa concert na yun, tama ba?
I think sila yung pinasikat, yes. And then there were other groups there present also, but the headliners were NCT and Red Velvet.
Yeah, so as you can see on screen for those watching on the live stream right now, Sharon Cuneta was there, Tita Shawi, #Sharonian,
diba?
With her daughter Miel.
So
and
cute.
Her Instagram was just full of NCT. She calls herself the Mama and Citizen.
Oh my God,
Citizen
cute.
Mommy yata. So sobrang nakakaaliw yung mga posts ni Ate Shawi.
I know, and I'm glad she got to meet them, diba? Sila yun.
I think what happened was Ryan Bang was hosting the show.
Okay.
And she got access to Ryan Bang through Vice Ganda just to get her to meet
galing.
NCT 127.
That's true.
Which is a subgroup of a bigger NCT. But they're like the younger group.
Yes.
But yun nga, it's nice to see that even big stars, like the mega star of the Philippines, is a fan of something else. And
diba?
She'd go through all the lengths just to be with her favorite boys.
Yeah, and I think she has been a K-pop fan for a while now. Sa Vice Ganda, ata sa Gandang Gabi Vice, yes. She danced Titi, the Twice song. So she's
Titi.
she's a once too. Diba?
Yes, so go Ate Shawi. It's a yes queen for you because you're just living your life happily, and
I know.
She just looked super happy in all her Instagram posts. I'm looking at it right now, and wow.
Ang dami yung videos.
May super kasi, I'm looking for the posts right now. Merong super funny na pinost si Sharon about it, na she was saying na, I was I'm a big singer here in the Philippines. I've been singing since I was 15. And I'd love to meet you again. I can get you access to a private island that has the whitest beach.
Whoa.
And parang ganon. The whole post was about that, and I was like, wow, the dedication. All the fans are shaking right now because they don't have a private beach
exactly
to offer.
But I feel like, I think if any fan were as powerful as Sharon Cuneta, they would do the same thing.
If I were her, I would too. So ayun, super happy for her, and to all the fans who watched last night. I mean, not last night pala. Last Sunday. So
last Sunday.
Good for them. Enjoying their lives.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're down to our last two popcorns of the week. So next is another Filipino pop culture news. So Pinoy Big Brother 8 is currently airing on ABS-CBN. So they just force evicted a housemate based on a rape joke. So in an episode aired on June 4, 27-year-old housemate Banjo Dangalan, dubbed the funny fighter ng Quezon City, was asked to leave the Big Brother house because of a rape joke. So what happened was the housemates were having breakfast together, and nagjo-joke siya kasi I think that's his personality, to just joke around.
Okay.
And referring to a housemate, Gino, who's actually Atenean and was my classmate before.
Hi, Gino.
Hi, Gino. Nasa loob ka ng bahay ngayon. Pero hello.
Yeah.
Sabi niya kay Gino, siguro masarap to katabi sa pagtulog. And referring to another person, palit tayo ng kama. Pagsasamantalahan ko lang to. Which is like, obviously pertaining to like rape. In a joking manner.
Yeah.
But of course, it didn't sit well with a lot of the female housemates. Because if you watch the video, parang some of the guys are actually laughing along.
Yeah.
But some of the other guys were just super uncomfortable as well. So, the night before, actually, si Banjo was already reprimanded by Kuya. Kasi he made some female housemates uncomfortable because he was sniffing their hair or something like that.
And that's like textbook creep move, I think.
It is.
Like any guy who randomly smells your hair, just like run away, please. Diba?
So, yun, it's a yes for me because PBB is showing the way to the Filipino people that rape jokes are not okay.
Exactly.
We need that kind of media right now.
Yeah.
In this country full of a lot of men who still think that rape is a joke, and calling out women is a joke. Being misogynistic is a joke.
Yeah.
Being homophobic is a joke. It's a big ball of fragile masculinity happening.
It really is. And speaking as a woman, like if I were in close proximity with someone like that, like whether in the workplace or if like nabahay ni kuya ko or something, and that's much scarier, diba? Kasi you're living in the same
and there
vicinity.
Are cameras around
like,
you.
My first reaction would be, this dude could attack me anytime, and he's likely stronger than me.
Because he's a fighter. He's a mixed martial art.
Exactly, diba? And ako, I do martial arts din pala. And like, if I had a coach who was like this guy, I wouldn't feel safe with him also. So I'm glad they expressed that properly on national television so people understand why this is a problem. Yun lang naman.
And yun, of course, it's a yes because, you know, in this current climate, we need to stand up. And Pinoy Big Brother, I haven't been watching it lately. I've only been seeing clips and who comes out of the house because it's sort of been like an artista machine na lang.
Yeah, it is an artista machine though.
So, ayun, parang it's great that they're still standing their ground and actually making articles about what happened. So, yun. Good for you, PBB. I hope you make more progressive decisions as the season goes by. And last, for our popcorn for the week, The Good Place on NBC is ending after season 4. So, it's a really beloved show by everyone. And yun, it's very sad. So, talking about the decision to end the show, creator Michael Schur, who was also the creator of Parks and Recreation and part of the team who wrote on The Office.
Yeah.
So he says na after mapping out the season 2, the writers decided na maybe it's about time to close the book to have like a good ending. So ito yung exact words na sinabi niya. Given the ideas we wanted to explore and the pace at which we wanted to present those ideas, I began to feel like 4 seasons, just over 50 episodes, was the right lifespan. At times over the past few years, we've been tempted to go beyond 4 seasons, but mostly because making this show is a rare, creatively fulfilling joy, and at the end of the day, we don't want to tread water just because the water is so warm and pleasant. As such, the upcoming 4th season will be the last.
I mean,
and that's great.
Yeah, I do agree with the decision because there's only so much you can take a story like that, a story that isn't meant to be like an epic Game of Thrones situation, diba? So I'm glad that they made the decision to end it in a good place, haha, because it's so tempting to extend and extend, especially if people will still keep watching. But as a writer, talaga, you should make that choice.
And it's great. I love the show so much, and it has a lot of lessons and philosophy. Hopefully, by the end of this upcoming 4th season, we get to have a full episode about The Good Place with a philosopher or a philosophy major, because I'm not good in philosophy.
Ako rin eh. Even though we're Athenians.
I mean, we know the concepts, but we don't necessarily like know all the concepts at the top of our heads.
Yeah, I mean, life, work, it kind of gets in the way sometimes.
So there you have it. Those are our popcorns for the week. We've had a really, really interesting week. A lot has happened compared to the past week. But yun, in general, there's a lot of good things to watch out for. And there are a lot of things to be wary of as well.
Yes.
So yun, that is our popcorn for the week. We will go on a short break. We are back to Popcorn with Cholo Sediaren, your stop for all things pop and a podcast for fans by fans.
Woo.
So our main topic for today is Black Mirror Season 5 discussion. So Black Mirror came out a week ago.
It did.
And there were only 3 episodes. But before we head to those 3 episodes, of course, we can't not talk about Bandersnatch. So Bandersnatch was released last December 28, 2018 at the end of the year. And what was Bandersnatch, Erika?
Bandersnatch is basically a choose your own adventure episode featuring this dude. His name is
Will Poulter.
Will Poulter.
And Fionn Whitehead.
Yeah.
So it's a choose your own adventure Black Mirror style. So it was set in 1984 following Stefan, an aspiring video game creator who adapts a choose your own adventure book called Bandersnatch into a game. So he gets into a contract with Tuckersoft, a video game company, and he meets one of his quote-unquote idols, Colin Ritman, who is a famous young video game creator. So this was super interesting. There are 10 alternate endings kasi it's choose your own adventure. So Netflix showed you options on like what to do with the character, and there were a lot of permutations. Sometimes it would lead you into like a reset that you had to do because you didn't follow the right story, because at the end of it there is still like a right story. There are 10 right stories na would lead to really like nice endings that would have like some sort of conclusion to the story, and not like it will make you restart everything. That was one of the frustrations na when you chose something wrong on a whim, you don't really have the chance to continue from where you started. I mean, from where you ended.
I know.
And you have to restart the whole game, essentially.
Yeah. And for people who are familiar with choose your own adventure video games, whether they're indie games on Steam or on other platforms, usually if you go through a choose your own adventure game, the endings don't really lead you towards a dead end. So I think that was the main criticism from like gamers naman. Yeah.
So yun, for me, Bandersnatch was an interesting interactive experience. It's
Yes.
the first live action event by Netflix na interactive. So it's a very Black Mirror thing to do.
Yeah.
The nice ending for me was there was one that says recognize that you're in Netflix, and then he was
Yeah.
like, what's Netflix?
I know, that was so
And
funny.
then there was parang a part where he realizes he's just in a set of a movie or something like that.
Yeah, that was also very Netflix of them to do. Like if you were able to acquire like a UK giant like Black Mirror and it's a choose your own adventure game, of course you'd be like, hey, penging self-insert naman dyan, diba?
And it was great. As a whole Black Mirror episode though, it was just okay. Like sax lang siya.
Yeah, same.
It was the concept of choose your own adventure that really made it interesting. But if you just watch it in a linear fashion, I feel like it's just okay.
Yeah,
It's just a normal Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, like I think from a writing perspective, it really could have been way better than it was. It's just I think Charlie Brooker really focused on bringing the execution to life more than anything else. Format was obviously more important to him here than writing. So if that's your cup of tea, then you're really going to enjoy Bandersnatch. But if you're looking for top tier storytelling, maybe you can turn to other episodes of Black Mirror for that.
That's true. But, you know, it's one of a kind.
Yes.
I mean, more Netflix shows are already doing it right now. But for a live action movie or experience, it was the first of its kind.
Yes.
I mean, before that, I think there was a Puss in Boots Choose Your Own Adventure,
oh, that's
which
so
I discovered like 2 years before Bandersnatch.
Really?
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
like the same concept but with Puss in Boots from DreamWorks.
I should check that out. That's
You
so
should.
cute.
It's just like a kiddie
Yeah.
Bandersnatch.
Pang good vibes lang.
GV.
Yeah.
And we need a lot of GV.
We do every day.
Yes, so now we're headed to season 5.
Season
So
5.
let's begin chronologically. The first episode in this season was called Striking Vipers, and it starred Anthony Mackie, Pom Clementif, and Ludi Lin. So this whole episode, the gist was, it's sort of like a play on virtual reality video games. So medyo may pagka Tekken Street Fighter vibes.
Yes.
Na there were 2 friends. I mean, there were 3 roommates in one house. And oh, by the way, to those listening, if you haven't watched season 5 of Black Mirror, stop listening and come back to the show once you have, so you can listen to our discussion. So anyway, what happened was, parang after a number of years, the friends kind of grew apart because of adulting and
Yes.
having a family. And during a reunion, they were like, oh, we should hang out more with each other. Even the wife of Anthony Mackie was saying that you should hang out more with their other roommate.
Yes.
And what happened was, when they were in college, they had a video game called Striking Vipers, which they bonded together. I mean, that's what bonded them together. And yun nga, in the 10th anniversary of them being in college, when they reunited, it's a VR world na, and
Yeah.
you can actually experience the game in a VR setting. Not just VR, but like you can actually feel what the virtual reality is showing.
Yes.
So it's like a complete experience. So throughout that episode, of course, we saw na they didn't just play the game. They played with the characters.
They strike them vipers, if you know what I mean.
So it's a very sexual-ish episode.
Yes.
I mean, they didn't obviously show like gratuitous stuff.
Yeah. But it was very obvious that
It
they
was
were
there.
having sex in the game. As
Kasi
their
one
characters.
of the guys, the character was a girl, si Roxy.
Yeah.
And then the other guy was called Lance. So given that the adults that they are, they did it as the video game characters. And it became a thing for them.
Yes.
Na as bros, is this a weird thing, or are we just doing this as part of the game because it's cool? And then that eventually affected the Anthony Mackie's relationship with his wife. Na parang the wife ended up saying, what's happening? Why you're not touching me anymore.
Yeah.
What's happened? We're trying to have a baby here. And then he just couldn't like accept it that he was having sex with his bro.
Yeah, my kink is only having sex in video games. I can't do it in real life anymore. It's not the same.
This was very interesting. I mean, it touched upon homosexual or homoerotic themes and explored a lot of relationships between friends and between like romantic relationships and familial relationships. But I was just not, there wasn't anything like substantial to like get from it aside from the thrill of seeing two video game characters who are really good looking, by the way.
Yeah, they are. They were so hot. Like, I loved those parts. I was like these people are so bagay.
My friend was saying the casting was peak bisexual because she could just be attracted to Lance, played by Ludi Lin. He was Red Ranger yata in the current in the previous Power Rangers movie, and together with Naomi Scott, who was Jasmine in Aladdin, the live action movie. By the way, we just released 2 minisodes, our first ever minisodes. Monday and Tuesday. So we have that Jonas Brothers Chasing Happiness and Happiness Begins minisode. We had a party literally in the Jonas Brothers.
Wow.
And aside from that, we talked about Aladdin, the live action movie, in our second Pop Bite. That's what we call the minisodes. So you can listen to that wherever you're listening to this. It's only on the streaming websites because Radyo Katipunan only has this weekly format. Anyway, back to Black Mirror.
Back to Black Mirror season 5.
We were saying Naomi Scott was Pink Ranger and he was Red Ranger or probably Green Ranger.
Oh, okay. So they probably know each other na. No.
They probably do because they were in the same movie cast as Power Rangers.
Cool.
Anyway, they were really good looking, but it just felt so shallow and there wasn't anything to get from it aside from, I mean, I guess for the gays, it was very exciting.
That's debatable for me. I don't know, because I also listened to another Black Mirror podcast that we were talking about off air called Black Mirror Cracked, and a bisexual man actually went through the episode as well, and he thought that the homoerotic tendencies were very much there, and he did feel very much represented by that. But I don't know, I guess he has more authority than me because he's a bisexual guy and they are guys in the show. But for me, it felt like a cop-out somehow because you didn't mention this a while ago, but the two guys actually tried to kiss in real life after they
were
kept
like,
having sex.
Okay, let's see if this is just in the game or if there's something we can get out of the game.
Diba? And then they kiss and then there's obviously nothing there. So I don't think it's very
for
gay.
real.
Yes, exactly. Plus, they're having sex in a very gratuitous voyeuristic environment as a straight couple in the game. So I don't think it seems very gay to me. I don't know. I feel like San Junipero knocked that off the park a long time ago.
We will go back to San Junipero later, but that is an amazing Black Mirror episode. But yun nga, I agree. I feel like if they had explored other characters, like say both of them were playing male characters or both of them were playing female characters, or if they just completely played around with all the existing characters in that game to say that, for example, gender is fluid, we can feel anything we want to feel through different characters, but what matters is what we're feeling inside.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, that would make more sense to me. Happy Pride, guys. And also there was a part then in that episode where they were secretly talking about the relationship while si Wifey was preparing something ata. And then one of the guys, the guy who plays Roxy ata in the video game, he was trying to get over their affair, quote unquote affair, by having sex with other people in the game, users he didn't really know, and he even had sex with a polar bear ata to try to get that quote unquote connection. Diba, to get that connection that they had, pero he couldn't match it talaga or something. I wish that was more believable. I really wished it was.
If they showed it.
Yeah, if they actually showed the depth of their relationship as bros, pero they seemed like very shallow bros sa umpisa pa lang eh. So I don't know.
It's an hour-long episode at this point. So why?
Diba?
Maybe it's just really the concept.
I guess.
But we'll
I
talk
don't
more
know.
about the whole season much later after we talk about the second episode and third episode. So
Yes.
the second episode is called Smithereens. So it stars Andrew Scott, who is known as Moriarty in the Sherlock series.
Yes.
Moriarty. And Topher Grace was also there. So it's present time. It's not like a futuristic episode. And ride-sharing app driver Chris, played by Andrew Scott, kidnaps an employee of a popular social media platform called Smithereens in an attempt to get in touch with its founder, Billy Bauer.
Yes.
So that's pretty much the gist of the episode. So it's very intense.
Very
it tries to be intense for me. Pero the whole thing to me just felt like an hour and 10-minute long PSA for don't snap and drive.
Kaya nga eh.
That was very I from the first 5 minutes alone of seeing our lead character Chris, parang alam ko na yung mangyayari na okay, somebody died because he was on social media while he was driving, and that's why he's trying to target people from Smithereens, and now that's why he's trying to get to Billy Bauer and all that.
It's
So
true.
it just felt like
It felt shallow to me also. It really did. I feel like this was more an exercise in suspense than anything else. It doesn't really arrive at anything deeper.
But the suspense at the same time is so predictable. Like
It really is.
what it's trying to show at the same time is there's not much there to be explored.
I know. Exactly. Like they try. I do give credit to Andrew Scott for an excellent performance.
He did.
Yeah, he really tried to milk the script for what it was really worth. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. Especially with something that's not as deep as it's trying to be.
And it's
I suppose.
the longest episode out of the 3 episodes. So parang why?
Did it feel long to you? It felt long to me.
It felt so long.
Yeah.
For one, the runtime is 1 hour and 10 minutes compared to the other 2.
Haba.
So parang it just felt unnecessarily long, and they could have gotten through with it through 40 minutes or even just a 30-minute episode, because this storyline of the dangers of social media and the dangers of driving while using social media, it's just so overused.
Yeah, and we know this already.
Gas na.
Gas na siya.
I mean, going back to Glee last week, there was an episode called On My Way, which had Quinn Fabray texting, "I'm on my way," because she was on her way to Rachel and Finn's supposed wedding. And she got into a car accident and got into a wheelchair after that. So parang, that was only like 5 minutes or even less of one Glee episode. I mean, the rest of the episode showed her being in a wheelchair and like, you know, feeling all the weight of what happened. But yun, that's that.
That's that.
It's
That's
2019.
I know. Come up with more
they could have
ideas,
gotten
man.
some other ideas that would explore social media even deeper. But I mean, kasi this is pretty okay in general, but you know, it's super gas.
It really is. And the thing is, like, we're becoming more and more acquainted with technology and its advancements as we go along. So I feel like Charlie Brooker always needs to be on his toes when writing, and
Like
he
needs to be 5 steps forward.
He does, and he was 5 steps forward before. I don't know what's happened lang now. So,
Maybe
I don't know.
it's because of the number of episodes.
Maybe it's possible. It could also be creative burnout. We never know.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a Black Mirror season every year na at this point.
Every year na.
I mean, I think yun nga, the number of episodes affected this season. Not just, I mean, the first 2 or 3 seasons of Black Mirror each had 3 episodes, which were all really good episodes. And the Netflix seasons each had 6. Season 3 and season 4 and 5. I mean, no, 3 and 4 pala.
3 and 4.
1 and 2 were just 3 episodes each. And this time around, I thought it was gonna be a return to form na there were 3 episodes that are really good.
Yeah.
But it so happens na compared to the last 2 seasons na there were okay episodes, there were really good episodes.
Yeah.
this just had all the filler-ish episodes.
Yeah,
to me.
it felt like filler episodes, no? Parang there wasn't one standout episode, unlike from previous seasons, that talagang you could name an epic episode per season.
I mean, going to our next episode, which is called Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2. Wait. No,
Yeah.
I want to talk about
Okay.
Smithereens further pala.
Okay, sige.
So,
Elaborate
I mean,
tayo.
Dangers of social media, of course, but it just also showed na all your information is accessible via social media.
Yep.
Like they found the information on Chris right away, the people who worked there. So
Mhm.
that goes to ask also the question, how much have we posted that people from Facebook or Twitter or Instagram know?
Mhm.
I mean, it's all basically we are the products of these social media platforms.
Yeah, we are, but I feel like we're more desensitized to it because as we grow older, and I think I speak for a lot of us, especially our generation, Cholo, diba? We're the techie ones. We're the ones who are researching further into the digital world. We know that
And we've seen the best of both worlds.
Yeah, we have
offline and online.
Exactly. Diba? You've sat in meetings where social media is just a bunch of numbers to you, but you know that there are faces behind those numbers. It's just you don't think about it so much.
But like that begs to ask the question again, like how much do they know? Because there are conspiracies where they can listen in through your phone, like on what's happening at the moment, and that's when they target ads to you.
Yeah, I've had friends na parang, I've just had a conversation with my friend over lunch about watches, and then all of a sudden I'm getting watch ads.
Exactly.
Someone's listening
It's
to me.
a whole industry, but you know, it's what we give. It's the liberties that we enjoy.
Yeah,
Parang given that what we sacrifice to be on social media.
exactly. It's a give and take situation that you're like trapped in somehow.
Yeah, but even Billy Bauer in this episode showed na even the creators themselves feel like they've gone overboard and they don't know what to do about it. Kasi
Yeah, diba?
at the end of the day, you're the face of the company and you end up being blamed for a lot of the things. Going back to the Shopee thing earlier,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, I mean, these are really good points, but we've seen them everywhere.
Yeah. I also love pala like one small detail. Both the COO in that episode and Billy Bauer were actually like decompressing from technology when all of this happened. The COO was jogging. Si Billy naman was like on a retreat.
10-day silent retreat.
And the thing is, they still couldn't escape technology and their
baka he came from a
jobs.
Jesuit school kaya may 10-day silent retreat.
Diba? Exactly. Tapos nagtatrabaho na sila so wala silang escape. I feel like that's the real nightmare. Charot.
It is a nightmare.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the social relevance of this episode specifically for the Philippines? Because social media, we're one of the biggest users of social media.
We are.
I feel like, yun nga, it's more about being aware of what we're putting out there and being, what do you call this? Parang being aware also of what we intake from social media.
That's true.
Na we must be critical of what we read because not everything on the internet is true.
And important. Diba?
Because just fake news is a thing.
That's true. And also, I think that we shouldn't let ourselves be governed too much by social media. I remember,
so hard though.
Yeah, that's true. I remember reading a review lang of this episode saying that Andrew Scott's character was 100% at fault behind the crash with his wife and all. He was looking at his phone kasi, diba? But he made it into like this elaborate plot to get back at Smithereen when in fact, kasalanan naman yung nakatingin siya sa phone niya, diba?
He couldn't accept it.
Yeah, he automatically thought of, oh, social media as this big evil entity, you know, when in fact he was just careless. It was his fault, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Crazy stuff.
Well, back to the third episode, which was cut earlier by my backtracking.
Okay lang yun.
It's called Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2, and it starred Miley Cyrus.
I know. An icon of our time.
In the story, Rachel is a big fan of Ashley O, which is Miley Cyrus's character. So the release of Ashley 2, Ashley O's AI counterpart, it's like a robot that has her like mind in it. So it makes her get the device for her birthday, and it made her turn it into her best friend because her sister Jack wouldn't really notice her or would judge her. But contrary to her sister's wishes, parang, ano ba yan? But friend mo lang yung robot.
Yeah.
Kasi her sister is also a musician and she feels like, this is too basic. Why are you doing this?
Exactly. She's at that stage in life.
Yeah. I mean, I think she was 15 in this episode, see Rachel. So on the other side of things, Ashley, played by Miley Cyrus again, is experiencing her own struggles as a pop star, which leads her aunt/manager, Catherine, to put her into a coma.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's crazy AF.
I know.
Among the three, I think this is the first one that I watched, and rightfully so.
Yeah, dapat
na-disappointed
lang
ako dun sa
yeah, exactly.
I mean, not disappointed in a sense na, oh, I shouldn't have wasted my time, but disappointed in a Black Mirror sense na
yes.
I wanted more out of this experience. But this one is really campy. It's really fun. It's Miley Cyrus.
Exactly.
I've spoken so much on this podcast about how much I love Miley Cyrus.
And I think everyone loves Miley. I have not encountered a single person who doesn't love her.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or maybe there are like straights who don't get the Miley thing.
The straights don't understand it. They don't understand her.
So this is generally like Hannah Montana Black Mirror version.
Exactly.
Think about it.
That's what I thought of also. Kasi diba naka-wig pa siya and she has like another persona that's not really her, that she projects. You know, I get the Hannah Montana references.
What I like most about this is that it's a telling story on the pop star narrative na the musician life is not as easy as you think it is. Because seeing all these pop icons living their life and living their dreams, you think it's so easy.
Yeah.
But it's not. And this just goes to show that experience. We've talked about in the last minisode with Jonas Brothers, we saw this in the documentary Chasing Happiness, na the rise and fall and rise of Jonas Brothers. And it's the same thing with Miley Cyrus. With her Hannah Montana Disney days to her transition into a full-fledged adult pop star. She experienced a lot, and I think this is what she experienced in real life put into a Black Mirror episode.
I know, exactly.
Because I mean, I love Disney so much. I'm a Disney kid, and you know, it sometimes gets constricting because of the image that you have to put out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this wants to show. And I see a lot of the people that I work with also experience the struggles of trying to make it and also trying to stay on top.
Yeah, at the same time. It's a huge thing. You need like a lot of sacrifices to get to the top, and they really show like how deep the sacrifices can get and how crazy business-like
She was
things
basically
can be.
a robot.
Yeah, she was.
Turned into a robot, literally.
No, diba?
Because what happened
so
in
funny.
the episode was, yun nga, she wouldn't follow what her aunt wanted to do. So, parang they found her journal, and then they realized that the pills they were giving her to make great pop songs, she wasn't taking them.
Yeah.
So when they found out, the aunt sprinkled it into her food, and that put her into a coma.
Yep.
And they found some machine that could read her brain for some Black Mirror reason.
Yeah, we don't know the tech behind this.
They were able to get all the notes and the words using Ashley 2. Let's talk about Ashley 2 more. So Ashley 2 is like the mini me of Ashley.
Yes.
You can be best friends with her, talk to her. It's like Siri, but with a face, or Alexa.
Yeah.
And
it's like Miley Siri.
Yeah, so it has Ashley O's like whole brain into it. And yun nga, when she went into a coma, the sisters whose father has some technological equipment in his basement for his business.
Yeah.
They found a way. They found like some sort of a bug inside Ashley 2. And when they deleted that bug, it showed the real Ashley. Na si Ashley, hindi pala siya robot talaga na, oh, I'm Ashley. Oh, I love you.
Yeah.
Believe in your dreams. That's what she was saying to Rachel in the beginning. Like, you can do it.
Yeah.
This was how she was saying it in a robotic sense. But when they got rid of that firewall, the real Ashley appeared. Nagmumura na siya.
Angry millennial lang
She
siya.
was an angry, she was an angry millennial basically. And that robot, that Ashley 2 with the real Ashley, saw that the real Ashley, as in the physical form, was in a coma.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, help me get into my house and let's fix this. And then she pulled the plug on herself.
Diba? That was wild.
And then when she pulled the plug on herself, the real Ashley woke up and the aunt was trying to create this whole new Ashley interface or platform na you can watch Ashley from wherever you are in this giant size Blade Runner form.
Yes.
And they did try their best to stop the tita from doing that.
The evil tita from doing it.
From then on, Ashley was able to just express herself, her real self, through her music, which happened to be like a rockista genre.
Rockista talaga siya deep
So it's
inside.
really Miley Cyrus coming from Hannah Montana and then exploring all these experimental bangers music. And again, as I mentioned in previous episodes, Bangers is such a good album.
It really is. You guys should listen to Bangers.
Listen to Bangers.
If you haven't,
hi Miley, I love you.
It's important. It's important listening. It really is.
Yeah, so that brings us back to the whole season in general. This is surprisingly like a super quick discussion.
3 episodes lang eh, diba?
1 is 3 episodes, but 2, there's not much to talk about.
I know, exactly. Speaking of Rachel, Jack, and Ashley too pala, I thought that another interesting plot point would be delved into deeper, and that's Rachel's social anxiety. Like, she doesn't have any friends. She only talks to Ashley too, and at the end of everything, she still just has one friend, her sister.
At least it's a start.
It's a start. It is. I mean, I'm glad she's finally friends with her sister, but also I would have wanted to see more of how that affected her personally. Like, she's obviously a recluse. Like, what kind of dangers does that have for her, especially since she's a teenager pa lang? It would have been nice to see lang, but obviously I think they wanted to really focus on Ashley's character and where she was gonna go, because that was the more exciting plot point naman talaga. So I understand why they made that choice.
I mean, it's also a representative of social media again.
Yes.
But this season in general kasi felt just very basic.
Yeah.
It wasn't Black Mirror. It was very entertaining. I mean, except for Smithereens, medyo dragging siya for me.
Ako rin.
But the Black Mirror factor wasn't there.
It wasn't.
It explored some ideas and dipped its toes into it, but it didn't like dive all the way in to the Black Mirror experience that we all know and love.
Exactly. I think someone gave this analogy to me. I just can't remember who, for Game of Thrones. Na Game of Thrones season 8 felt like you were handed out a bunch of ingredients and the writers expected you to think it was a cake, but it was actually just the ingredients. I feel like that's what this season of Black Mirror felt to me. Yun nga, it didn't feel complete. It didn't feel as, I guess, like meta Twilight Zone-y as it used to be. It didn't strike that fear that made it so famous. And I was really disappointed that it didn't do that.
It's just all very Hollywood. The fact that Miley Cyrus is there, Anthony Mackie, even Andrew Scott. Because Black Mirror episodes usually show more of the unknown actors.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, they had their own movies. John Boyega was there before
he was.
Star Wars. And even Letitia Wright, who was Shuri in all the Avengers and Black Panther movies.
Yeah, she
was
did
there.
great in
she
her
was
episode.
in Black Museum. And even Hayley Atwell was there, but it wasn't advertised to be, oh, these celebrities are here. It's gonna be a good Black Mirror time. It was just because it was Black Mirror, that's it.
Yeah.
But this time around, medyo baliktad na parang Miley Cyrus is here.
Exactly.
Let's have a grand time.
It's like they really just wanted to attract viewers. But once the viewers got there, we had certain expectations and they just really didn't fulfill them at all.
But, you know, Miley Cyrus.
I mean, I love that Miley was there and she did a great job. that was probably like my favorite part of the whole season.
So yeah, also I want to add na there weren't really any new technological horrors to fear in this series in particular.
Yeah, and I feel like that was incredibly lacking, especially since you always want to look for something new to be scared of.
Yeah,
when
like,
it comes to technology, diba?
usually you'd be paranoid of the thing that they featured on the latest Black Mirror episode.
Yes.
Like the nosedive one, na parang the social
Anxiety that
social
you already
anxiety and
feel,
social
probably.
status.
Yeah.
Yun. Parang wala yun dito eh. These are
Exactly. Oo.
stories, yes, entertaining, yes, but there's not a Black Mirror ending even.
Yeah.
Like Ashley O just lived her dream and focused on her music. See Smithereens, everything was resolved.
Yeah, pretty quickly,
Nothing
I think.
really happened after
Yeah.
that. Only even like a side character had a good ending na she was trying to get her daughter's password because her daughter passed away, but she couldn't guess what it was. And
Yeah.
then parang one last thing that Chris asked for kay Billy Bauer was that, can you get me in touch with this guy to give this girl who was appeared for like 2 minutes, give her the password? And that happened. And like, okay. And even
Yeah.
Striking Vipers, it ended up na they had one day of the year where they were in an open relationship na
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie could just do it with his friend on Striking Vipers X, and the wife can go
Meet other guys. Yeah.
and do them and not have the guilt of doing everything.
Diba?
So parang, bakit ganun lahat ng endings masaya?
Oo nga eh.
As compared to the usual Black Mirror episodes where you'd feel kind of defeated or like kind of scared for your life, or like, I should be thinking deeply into this even more.
Yeah. And my opinion naman on happy endings, I'm not completely against them naman. Like, I love happy endings as much as the next person does. But I feel like to get there, you really can't be just lukewarm about it. Especially with Black Mirror. Like, you have to go
It's
all
what
out.
the show
right?
is about.
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
And you can't be half-baked.
You can't. You really can't.
So that pretty much ends our season 5 discussion. We'll be back later for a Black Mirror throwback.
Yes.
Talking about our favorite Black Mirror episodes. But before
Exciting.
that, here's a plug for Westlife, the 20 tour. They're celebrating 20 years of hits on July 29 to 30, 2019 at Araneta Coliseum. Tickets are now on sale at ticketnet.com.ph or call 911-5555. Presented by Wilbros Live. Westlife, #Westlife Manila 2019. The first show is already sold out, so
Wow.
good for Westlife. They're back.
Great.
So now we will go on a break. Here's and we are back here on Popcorn with Cholo Sediaren. Of course, we're here with Erika.
Woo.
And we are
Hello.
talking about Black Mirror, one of
Season
our
5.
favorite shows, but season 5 kind of disappointed us.
Yeah.
But given that season 5 was kind of like a downer, except for Miley Cyrus, again,
She can do no wrong.
I'm just gonna say Miley Cyrus's name again and again and again. I
Okay
won't
lang
mind.
naman eh.
Let's promote
Okay lang.
her.
Yes.
Love
she
her.
needs to be loved.
And now we're gonna talk about our top Black Mirror episodes. Not necessarily ranking them, but just talking about the good ones that we really like.
Yes.
So, dun muna tayo sa honorable mention. For
Okay.
me, kasi the very first Black Mirror episode called The National Anthem was just really like crazy.
I think it set the bar
It did.
for every single other Black Mirror episode. It needs to be that crazy.
I watched it even before it was on Netflix, so I was pretty young.
Oh my god, and you were traumatized by that
like
so early.
mga second year college.
Okay,
Like hindi
so
naman super super young.
yeah,
but
mature ka
like-
na. Mature ka na.
But this kind of show was wow. It kind of like shocked me
It really
because
did.
I mean I've watched The Walking Dead at that point, and that's another thing. Hannibal was another thing, and they were gross in their own ways. But this was kind of showing real life, and
it really
that was
was.
gross.
Yeah, and it
Did he
showed.
actually do it with the pig?
He did. I remember that episode he did because it showcased social media as a terrorist tool, which I found to be very
And
interesting.
he was the Prime
then.
Minister of London.
He was. And what's funny is like he actually became even more popular after that because everyone thought of his
Nationalistic act.
as like saving the country, diba? Saving the life of this girl. But at the same time, his marriage disintegrated. So it really showed you the dangers of using, yun nga, social media as a terrorist tool and how powerful it can be. For me, it was shocking, and it wasn't just shocking for the sake of being shocking, diba? As in, it had something deeper to say. Just
about the national consciousness.
Diba? Galing. Sobrang
And being
galing nun.
a leader to a whole nation, what it entails and what sacrifices that you make.
Exactly.
So, galingan mo naman, Pilipinas.
I know. My goodness. I don't think we can ever match up to that, but we can try.
We can try.
Let's just not, like have sex with animals.
It's a different animal.
Please.
Altogether.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's not
I'm
do
never
that.
not gonna talk about politics because everything's so political, and as I said in a previous episode, we just really have to speak more about what we think and act on it
Yep.
as well.
Exactly.
So anyway, let's talk about some great episodes. Well, I'd talk about Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2 as a good episode, not
Yes.
necessarily a great episode, just to call back to season 5. But talking about the first 4 seasons before this, we have USS Callister. That was a I'm such a fan of pop culture and sci-fi also. And this was kind of like a take on the Star Trek.
It was a very good take on
Pero
it.
may
I think.
pagka-comedy rin siya in a sense.
Dark comedy siya eh. Yeah, that's what I loved about it.
And the twist was...
the twist was... Ano yung twist ulit? Sorry. I
The
forgot. It's
twist
been a while.
was... Parang... There was someone controlling all of them, and...
Yeah. That was the first twist. And there were like several other twists after that. Yeah, because he got like swabs of their DNA, I think.
Because
secretly.
the guy, as the quote-unquote lead guy in the parang Star Trek type show, was kind of a loser in real life. And he got swabs of DNA from his co-workers and parang controlled them through that environment. And
Diba?
then they found out. And then he got like
I think it's a
penalized
huge
for
it's a huge critique then on like toxic male nerd culture.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah, diba? Like classic Black Mirror, like critiquing what you see
In
around.
real life.
Yeah, in real life. And actually USS Callister is one of my favorite episodes because of that. It was very empowering for the female character to find out that even if she was actually
she was
just
the mother
like a
in
shell
How I
of
Met Your
herself.
Mother.
Yeah, diba? And para sa akin, like she really shined in this episode, and she did not like just take her situation for granted. She ended up fighting back and becoming the captain of her own ship, which was freaking awesome. I think
That's so cool.
I know.
And I think in the end, what happened was that the characters he was playing with, parang used his consciousness and brought him to like an inhabitable place in that universe.
Yeah, and I think his real body is just like rotting outside or something like that. I was like, that is dope.
That
That's
should be
super
done
dope.
to all sexual offenders.
I feel like, and I think the guy was a sexual offender in some way, diba?
He was.
Yeah, he was.
Next, we have Black Museum, which we mentioned earlier.
Yep.
It was a big Easter egg. We were talking about this off air, and that was like, damn girl, revenge.
I know, super kaduper meta Black Mirror, and also I think excellent use of suspense, not like Smithereen, but actual real suspense. I really felt it in this episode.
And society in general. I mean, we will never stop talking about racism.
Yes,
and like
that's true.
the structures of society that have been built around us, not just African Americans or Black people in general, but even Asians.
That's true.
I mean, this particular story showed torture for some black people, and that's why the lead character went back to Black Museum and like showed her revenge to the creators of Black Museum.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that there was a mystery to her character pa. Like you didn't really know
until the end.
Until the end na parang wow, may backstory pala si girl na bongga, you know. It was a great surprise to me. And yun, it felt very satisfying to see all the events unfold.
Next, from season 1 or season 2 is Be Right Back. Starring Hayley Atwell and Domhnall Gleeson.
I know. That was
both really
sad.
good British/European actors. That was wow.
Yeah.
Kasi just like the Smithereens episode, Hayley Atwell's character experienced death of a partner. And compared to the Smithereens episode, she was able to bring the partner back to life through his consciousness in a robot.
Yeah, in a robot. But it wasn't quite the same, diba? We quickly discovered.
Yeah, I mean, it's rubber or something.
I know. And diba parang lab-grown lang siya.
Yeah.
It's like, but I understand then like why she went through all these lengths because
the grief is there.
When you're grieving, you're not logical at all. So for me, it was one of the most human episodes of Black Mirror. I felt like this could actually happen in the future. People would really invest like so much money into creating, you know, like a love they had before, but obviously it would never be the same, diba?
That's true. And it really had the grief aspect talaga na it showed how people grieve as compared to Smithereens, going back to Smithereens na parang
yeah, parang nag-monologue lang si Andrew Scott ng grabe. But Hayley Atwell's grief was really, like, I felt it way more than in Smithereen for sure.
And talking about consciousness, there's also the episode called The Entire History of You, another consciousness-related episode where you could, like, use your brain to see everything that happened to you.
And to someone else also, diba? You could as well.
And you could like block people.
Yes, you could also block people. Like in real life, you wouldn't be able to see them or listen to them. They'd just be like blobs to you.
Like fun fact, the actress here is actually Jodie Whittaker, who is now the 13th Doctor. For those who do not know, watch Doctor Who. It's a great show, and that is how we know each other in the first place.
Yeah, because we were Doctor Who fans, and we actually still are Doctor Who fans. I just need to catch up to Jodie Whittaker's season because she's amazing.
We will get to a Doctor Who episode once the newer season is coming.
For sure.
2020 pa yata, or 2019 Christmas special. So that's 6 months from now.
Something to look forward to at least, diba?
For sure. So the entire history of you is also parang how much control should we have of our memory? Because we only have 10% use of our brains,
yes,
correct?
Just 10%, not the whole thing.
Yeah. So it's parang showing the power that you can have and
diba?
How much it could like control you once you do have that access to all the memories.
Exactly. And I think it's a classic take on when people are in a relationship and they have full access to everything that their partner does on their phone. It leads to all sorts of fights, diba? Imagine if you could access every single thing your partner has seen or done. Like, I feel like that wouldn't enrich a relationship at all because that's a complete invasion of privacy, diba?
Yeah, it actually is.
Yeah, and I love that they illustrated it so nicely here, and it really did look like a horror story unfolding just from the relationship of two people.
But what I would like to have at least is that access to memories, like at least the good ones na you know, we didn't always live in this social media or like digital world. So it would be nice to like look back upon memories that we couldn't really remember, just to like relive them or like take snapshots. Kasi I'm so unlucky with external hard drives, and I've lost a lot of pictures.
Oh no, sad.
And I'd like to just retrieve them through my memory or like have access to them somehow through technology.
Exactly. So it's a great thing and a terrible thing at the same time.
Maybe you just have to like balance.
Exactly.
That's all things.
Yeah, because what I liked about the episode was not everyone was driven crazy by it, diba? There were other people na talagang they really love the technology and it's done everything but good for their relationship. It's just some people abuse the tech. So that's Black Mirror
true.
For you.
And next, we also have White Bear. This was a really good
one
as show. Well.
Love that
Speaking of PBB kanina, this is kind of like a reality show.
Yeah, it's very like horror PBB, like but to the next level.
You didn't know it was a reality show until the very end.
Yeah, exactly.
Because apparently, torture siya for a criminal. Na you have to relive this maze of like people going crazy around you and you don't know what's happening and people are chasing you and you have to solve the mystery of the white bear. And then once you get to the end, you're gonna have to restart again and just
do it all over again. Yeah.
And it's like a whole it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole debate.
Production siya.
And people actually like pay good money to like see this happen. And it's not like a far-fetched reality because we do love seeing people like get tortured, suffer, diba, meet a grizzly, and this is why we love Game of Thrones. This is why public executions have happened in history. You know, it's really like a sick, I guess, aspect of human nature.
It's kind of like the Truman Show.
It's kind of like the Truman
with Jim
Show.
Carrey.
Except with more torture.
Yeah. And it also speaks about society and how we just live through violence wherever we watch it.
That's true.
But you know, I mean, what's your take? Like, should criminals be punished like this, or should they just rot in a jail cell? Or diba?
Oh my God, I don't think so.
Asking that question.
Yeah, because I personally don't trust our justice system. So, diba? Like, you could just take anyone whom you'd rather have like purged like this. Porket, you know, criminal show, hindi. Just for entertainment, just for the sake of like ratings and power. So it's something that can easily be abused for sure.
That's true. Yeah. So now we go to the God tier.
Yes, God tier.
Sobrang uso ng God tier na term lately.
Diba?
Like there are a lot of memes or like battles online, like what's a god tier fruit of the Philippines,
diba? Or like god tier matches in Tekken or yung mga ganon.
Yeah, so let's talk about our god tier. I hope you're with me on what my favorite episodes are though so far.
Yeah, actually I'm pretty with you, although I'd bump USS Callister up. That's my only edit. Yeah, para sa akin lang yun.
Sige, I'll rewatch it to see.
Okay,
but for now, of course, one of them for me talaga is Nosedive. I'm a super like native now of social media. Like I really want to curate my stuff, my Instagram stories.
Diba?
Not really my tweets, but like the whole aspect of what people think of you gets to you talaga. And
really
this is the perfect example. Like in this episode, Bryce Dallas Howard,
whom I love, she's great.
Yeah, she's really great.
Yeah.
Parang there's a social judging system that gives you points for being a good person or bad person, and that gives you access to certain things or denies you from certain things as well. Like in the episode, she'd have a fake laugh just so she could get higher points. Like, ganun yung tawa niya, diba?
Tapos nire-rehearse niya talaga sa harap ng mirror and everything.
And that is the power of social media that we needed to see in Smithereens. Na parang it's a rehashed episode, and this one just really did it really well.
It did.
It showed her journey from being a person with really high points to one who just couldn't get through to her best friend's wedding because she didn't have the number of points.
Yeah, and what's so funny is it felt like a great tragic comedy. As in, as you were laughing, parang naawa ka talaga sa kanya na you understand her need to really like move up in the social ladder, but you also think that she's really funny for thinking that's her whole life, diba? Yeah.
So, for me kasi parang people judge you now through what they see on your social media, but that isn't exactly the picture.
I know.
Of who you are completely.
Grabe. And she realizes
this grid of the self that you see, the self that others see, the self that you don't see this happen. And that's
Dami.
completely factoring into that as well, and that's amazing. I'd rewatch it again and again.
It's a really crazy feel good episode with a bittersweet ending. That's what I love about it.
Na parang she finally accepted.
Yeah, she did.
that
Even
this
though
is life.
she got into prison for it. That was really funny. Grabe.
Okay. Next, we have Hang the DJ, which
Oof,
came from season
good one.
4. Really good one.
I
Another
know.
kind of social media related episode kasi medyo may dating app aspect siya.
Yeah.
So what happened was you'd be paired with different types of people
For a duration. Yep.
of time, and if you have a number of days, parang it keeps on respawning and all that.
Pero sometimes you'd be with someone na super boring pero 100 days pa kayo. So you
Yeah.
couldn't match with someone else in that period of time. It was very restrictive.
And the twist of the thing was
that
somebody
nasa
they rigged,
simulation pala sila, no? Yes, I remember that part.
and they kind of rigged the system na in how many other permutations they experienced, they still found each other and found a way to try to escape the simulation.
Diba? True love wins, guys.
Sana nga.
True love
Buti
wins.
pa
Grabe.
si Erika,
Ay, grabe.
ginalingan ng love life.
Wow. Salamat sa boyfriend kong nakikinig. Yun lang naman yun.
Hello.
Hello, mate.
Pahingi ng tinapay dyan.
Oo nga eh. Yeah, Instagram mo na lang siya. Nandun lang yun.
Hanggang dun lang yung tinapay na binibake niya. Hanggang Instagram na lang.
Oo nga eh.
Yeah, Hang the DJ. Really good. Watch it
Excellent.
from season 4.
Yep. And I love how it was a commentary on relationships din na parang you do feel trapped but you feel like you have to push through with it because other factors told you that you should.
That's
Diba?
true. Especially in the Philippine setting where
Oo nga,
I feel like
daming ganun.
what people think of you and your relationship factors heavily into your relationship.
Yeah.
May parent aspect. Aside from that, your extended family,
Right.
your friends. I mean, I guess it's not just a Filipino thing, but I think it's heightened in the Philippines na everyone's so closely knit with each other na you can't just help but judge
Yeah.
who your friend is seeing.
Exactly right. And I think there was a portion there nga na parang there were people who have found each other without the use of the app and people were like shocked. Na parang these people like are like rebels or something. Like they don't date like everyone else. It's
Yeah.
crazy, diba? Like how conventions can just get you like that.
Yep, but
Crazy
they
stuff.
love wins at the end of it.
Love wins.
It's one of
It
the
really
happy
does.
endings for Black Mirror.
I know, and it was a very satisfying happy ending to me. It didn't feel like out of character.
It
Alam mo
didn't.
yun? It didn't.
It-
It didn't.
It was for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
And last but definitely not the least, as we mentioned earlier, San Junipero,
Woo!
the best
The best Emmy
of the best.
award-winning.
Emmy
Lang
award-winning mini
Yeah.
movie.
Actually, people think of it as a mini movie.
And I think they're coming up with a sequel sometime.
Talaga, may sequel?
I think there are plans. But
Oh.
basically,
Oh.
San Junipero had another simulation of you going into a system. It's
The Tucker
revealed to
system.
be
Yeah.
it's showed to be two girls who are just meeting each other and having a great time in the 80s with a
Yeah.
really great 80s soundtrack.
I know.
Like Heaven is a Place on Earth.
Iconic song.
Iconic.
Song.
And eventually it's revealed that these people in this simulation, kasi wala sila like
Yeah.
for some time, like where is this girl?
Yeah.
Where is this guy? Hahanapin mo pa sa ibang tao na parang, have you seen this guy recently?
Oh, it's very old school. Walang
Very
cellphone,
old school.
wala. You just have to find the person.
Exactly. But it's revealed that these people in the simulation are actually like people who are dying.
Yeah, they're in retirement homes already. Or they're actually dead.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
the chance for their consciousness to be uploaded into this cloud where you can experience any decade that you want.
Exactly. Like in your youthful body.
Vibe.
Yes. So talagang parang heaven talaga siya, honestly.
And it's, for me, it's not just the LGBT kind of storyline.
It's
I mean,
not. Yeah.
it's just so happens that they're two women who kind of fall in love, or they do fall in love with each other
They do.
as people. But it transcends that.
Yeah, it really does. I feel like parang super bonus lang that it happened to be a great lesbian love story. But I feel like if you switched it up, like if they were two guys or like a straight couple, we'd still cry at the end.
Pero feel ko mawawala yung ano niya eh.
I know.
Emotional tug.
Yeah, sabagay.
Heartstrings.
Well, then again, you're actually right there because we're so used to queer people being represented very tragically actually in media. So it was a change that we didn't expect.
Another happy ending.
Yeah, another happy ending that didn't seem out of character.
Surprisingly, it's a Black Mirror. The God tier episodes we realize now are the happy ones.
Are the ones that happy end happily, ones, diba?
In a sense.
Pero I guess the journey kasi to get to that happy ending made it all worth it. It didn't seem like, okay, let's just make this episode light because I don't see a way to make it super tragic and impactful. It felt like it went there for the right reasons, you know. And San Junipero really like hit every single plot point extremely well. The actresses were amazing too.
Yes, queen.
Grabe. Yes, queens. And that soundtrack. Can't go wrong with the soundtrack.
And that is how you do Black Mirror, guys. Charlie Brooker.
Yes. Go back to your God tier episodes.
We love your work, obviously, and that's why we're kind of sad about what happened to season 5. But,
I know.
You know, as with any good show, there are some stumbles and like okay episodes and okay seasons, but eventually there's always a rainbow after the rain.
Diba?
Sabi nga ng Southboard.
Sabi ng Southboarder. And if this guy could make God tier episodes like the ones we just mentioned, then he can definitely bounce back, I think, from season 5.
Maybe a
break. I think a break will do him good. I feel like he needs to go to the beach for a while and like relax.
Are there secret episodes for season 5 that haven't been released?
Sana. O bigla siyang magre-release right
we
after
never know.
this. Di natin alam.
Yes, but that ends our Black Mirror discussion.
Woo!
Those are the episodes that we loved, and season 5, which we did not love so much. We will go on a break. And we are back for our last segment of Popcorn with me, Cholo Sediaren, and my co-host, Erika Villa-Ignacio.
Hello.
So we are down to our last segment called Pop Stop. And Pop Stop is our top picks and recommendations for anything in pop culture sphere that you've consumed or you want to recommend to anyone that's listening or watching right now. So what are your Pop Stop top picks of the week?
I have 2 so far. One, I'd like to talk about Fleabag. It's a show by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She wrote Killing Eve. I think you guys are more familiar with that.
She also wrote that?
Yeah, she did. She's amazing. She's such a great writer.
Wow.
And actress too. I'd like to call it as BoJack Horseman except
with humans.
Except with humans, and it's a woman behind it. And basically her character is an all-around terrible person, but she doesn't want to be a terrible person. Circumstances like got her there. And it's pretty much a dark comedy about her life and how she's trying to right those mistakes. And I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge is a really, really exciting new face, especially in pop culture. Do give it a watch.
I really want to watch it.
Recommend it.
I have Amazon Prime now, so I can watch that. That's where we watched the Jonas Brothers documentary.
Nice.
It has Fleabag, and it also has Good Omens, which I also want to watch.
I also need to watch Good Omens. Then,
but I want to read the book
yet.
first.
Oh yeah, you should. You should. You really should. It's a great book. You can find it anywhere ata.
I have one in my room again.
Diba? Oh,
Sunduku ang peg.
Basahin mo na. Nandun lang naman.
So for me naman, I didn't get to mention this in my previous episodes, but you should watch The Perfection on Netflix.
Oh, interesting.
It's a really good thriller / kind of horror film. And see Alison Williams from Get Out is in
She's
here.
She's super scary. I love her.
She is so good. Like emerging to be a queen of horror, like a scream queen of the new generation.
Dapat lang. She deserves it, I think.
This just goes all places. Like you don't know what to expect out of this. Like, it goes to one place and you're shocked. It goes to another place and you're shocked even more. And by the third act, you're like, wow, how did they do this? And I didn't expect this kind of ending.
Wow, you don't even run out of shocks at the end of the whole thing.
I mean, it's
Grabe,
divided
no?
into like several parts.
Okay.
And that kind of signifies like an elevation to what more the story is gonna show you. And that's a really good Netflix movie. Like, Netflix is really doing well.
They're stepping it up na, no?
With their movies. So hi Netflix again. We're here.
Oh, nga, we're here lang existing. Oh, one more pala. You guys should listen to Fancy. It's the newest EP by Twice. And I feel like it's also their best so
Parang
far.
I didn't like Fancy the single as much.
Okay, I'd argue that
More than like Yes or Yes, which is
sabagay,
not the
sobrang,
best song, but
yeah.
a bop.
Yeah, it is a bop. I'd recommend other songs though on the Fancy EP. Maybe listen to the whole EP and you'll probably like a song even better than the title song.
Okay, I'm
just my
gonna
opinion.
listen to that after the show. But thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having
It's
me.
been
This
great.
has been so fun.
Thanks to everyone who's tuning in right now. Of course, we are on Instagram as at Popcorn Podcast. Please follow us. You can get all the updates on what's upcoming and more extra stuff from that Instagram page. Of course, we are on all streaming platforms. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and to those who are listening right now on Apple Podcasts, please don't forget to rate and review the show. We need it
Yes.
so we
do.
can get up in the ranks and get some clout.
Next.
So yeah,
Clout.
this is actually my first month of doing the show.
Woohoo.
It's been a great ride, and I'm
Congrats.
really looking forward to a lot more episodes with you and everyone else who has joined me and
Yeah.
everyone else who are yet to join the show.
Yeah, diba? Daming ganaps eh. It's hard
Super.
to keep track.
And next week we have a Toycon / X-Men episode for our main episode. Of course, we also have minisodes up. We have the Jonas Brothers one and Aladdin ones previously released before today.
Great.
So check those out and all our previous episodes wherever streaming is available. I feel so legit.
Diba? Grabe. On all platforms pa, guys.
Yes. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Radyo Katipunan, as always. And see you guys next episode or next
See you.
week. Bye.
Bye.